Hi, Desert Hot Springs, Scott Mattis coming to you with our May 2018 message. Recently, the City Council has talked a lot about the grant funding we've had and the construction that will start this summer on a lot of road projects to bring more safety to our community when it comes to pedestrian, bicycle, and traffic safety. First, we want to announce that we, as the City Council, purchased a motorcycle for our police department. We have a trained officer in traffic safety, and one of the tools that we like to use in slowing traffic down is having a motorcop on Palm Drive and other main thoroughfares to actually slow traffic. That motorcycle has been delivered to the police department and is actually being outfitted with the emblems and all the other equipment. Our police officer that's trained to do it received his helmet, which was very expensive because it has radios and everything else in it, and his other parts of his gear for his safety. Also, we did a warrant study on some of the lights that were needed throughout the city, meaning stoplights and major intersections. So we looked at multiple intersections, and 3 intersections were warranted for stoplights. So coming this summer, when construction starts, Pearson and Cheif, next to the rec center, close to the high school, will actually have another stoplight there. Desert View and Palm will have a stoplight in the Coachella Valley Association government's grant that we've been talking about, which is a $2 million grant for safety along Palm Drive from Hacienda to Pearson Boulevard. And so a stoplight will be added at Desert View and Palm. And then the one project that definitely starting this summer that we've talked about a lot is the state transportation project along Palm Drive from Camino Aventura to Two Bunch Palms Trail. We're adding multiple stoplights, bus beacons, doing some traffic restriping and medians in those areas along with crosswalks and sidewalks, but also we're adding a traffic light to the corner of Camino Aventura and Palm Drive. This wasn't in the initial study. The residents of the Palm Drive estates, after the loss of Pamela Carrillo, who is a student at the Desert Hot Springs High School, her parents and family came out wanting to see a stoplight put there for safety in the future, not to see another life lost. The Palm Drive Estates residents had a public meeting with myself and the Mayor Pro Tem and the Police Chief and his staff talking about the safety in that area. And so we've enhanced that intersection there. We've actually added a stoplight to the study, and it will actually be warranted now and will actually be part of the project. So adding to all the other enhancements in that area is a stoplight at the corner of Camino Aventura and Palm Drive. I'd like to talk a little bit about the City Hall. The new City Hall at the corner of Palm and Pearson will actually break ground next month. We're about a month behind on the groundbreaking due to some proposals and stuff coming in for the project, but look forward to that. We'll have that announcement as soon as we get the flyer ready for that. Interested in being part of the committee here in Desert Hot Springs, the Human Rights Committee is underway and getting together and starting to put together their board. You can contact my office or Gary Gardner if you have any questions about that. Education Committee, Jennifer and Alan Ergay is actually working very hard to get the Education Committee going. This is everything from preschool all the way up through college, so we're going to have a lot of participation in that. You'll see more announcements on that real soon. If you're interested in education in our community, please contact our office and we'll put you in touch with Jennifer and Alan. I'd like to talk a little bit about the Washington D.C. trip. Went to Washington D.C. about 3 weeks ago on a first trip that mayors in Desert Hot Springs have been back to since 2009. So myself, the police chief, and the city manager, hired the Federal Advocates, which is a federal lobbying group for the city of Desert Hot Springs. In the recession, we cut out a lot of things in our budget, and lobbying was one of them. And we wanted to get back to the fact that the Desert Hot Springs should be in the forefront of grant funding when it comes to transportation, public safety, and some other issues. And we wanted to educate the federal government on the cannabis industry here in Desert Hot Springs. We spent 4 days, 20 meetings, meeting with the Department of Justice, Department of Transportation, Department of Homeland Security, Congress, and Senate. We met with our local congressman's office and our congressman. We met with our local senator's office and their staff. We actually got 5 minutes with Dianne Feinstein and was able to talk about these issues that really pertain to the state of Desert Hot Springs. And just so when and if we're able to apply for grants in the future and they see Desert Hot Springs, California on their desk, they'll understand our issues back there. This was a 4-day trip, again 20 meetings, and we get a weekly report now from our federal lobbyists on the grants that are available, and we have a grant writer that we're utilizing to write these grants. Hopefully in the future we'll see some public safety grants, which we have in the past. Most of our bulletproof vests that are bought for our police department through a grant. But we want to see more of those types of grants come through. And we have a lot of transportation infrastructure needs. And this leads me into my town hall meetings. And 3 years ago when I became your mayor, I did a big State of the City, and that's a one-time event that just talks about the state of the city and then the future of where we're going. But it kind of felt afterwards that it just ended in how do we get more information out there. So we started doing Facebook posts like these. And also, so last year we decided that we were going to do what we call town halls. And we went out, I believe, 8 times last year to different organizations. We had 2 people in the room, we had up to 100 people in the room. So this was actually going out to organizations and giving a town hall. And the message kind of changed each meeting as the months went on, as we started to make things develop in Desert Hot Springs. So this year we started with our first town hall. Noon Rotary hosted it at the Miracle Springs Hotel. And they actually had about 50 people in the room. And then we're live on Facebook. So we want to do more of these town halls. So if your organization wants us to come out and speak to you, we'd be happy to do that. We'll also be going live on Facebook again, and be able to have you sit at home and be able to ask questions about the future of Desert Hot Springs. And when we talk about the future of Desert Hot Springs, we talk about everything from public safety to infrastructure, transportation projects, and what we see for the future of Desert Hot Springs as the City Council has made a priority for our city staff. So if you get a chance, we'd love for you to visit us when it comes to these town halls, and or have your organization sponsor one. It really costs nothing. We'll come out, bring all the equipment, and all we want to do is be able to speak to your group. If you have any questions on that, you can contact my office at 760-329-6411 and schedule an appointment with us to make this happen. See you next month.